Hello, my name is Micah Kim, and my inquiry question is how does a golf ball affect your golf game? But before we go into that, it is important to learn some information about the golf ball. Let's start by talking about the history of a golf ball. Over the 600 years the golf ball has existed, it has gone through many changes and upgrades. However, there are four main upgrades the golf ball has gone through. First, the wood golf ball. This golf ball was made out of beech, a type of strong wood. This ball was very inefficient and inconsistent due to the round shape of it. It was made in the early 1400s in Scotland. It was also the first golf ball ever man-made. Wooden golf balls were used until around the 17th century when the feathery golf ball was made. The feathery golf ball, also known as the first real golf ball, was a leather sack filled with boiled goose feathers, then stitched up and painted. Feathery golf balls were expensive to make, and only the privileged few could afford to use them. This was because creating this golf ball was a very time-consuming and difficult process. To give you an example of how hard it was to make these balls, professional feathery ball makers could only make 3 or 4 per day. It was also very inconsistent due to the fact that it wasn't round at all. These balls were also not durable because if the ball got wet, the whole ball would fall apart. But in the mid-1800s, a new golf ball was made, and that was the gutta percha ball. In 1848, Dr. Robert Adams created a golf ball known as the gutta percha, or gutty for short. This ball was created from the dried sap of the sapodilla tree. It had a rubber-like feel and was formed into ball shapes by heating it up and shaping it while it was hot. The arrival of this ball revolutionized the game of golf and allowed golf to spread to the masses. The gutty period was very short compared to the wood golf ball and the feathery golf ball. Even though its time as a main golf ball was short, it had a much greater impact on the game of golf due to its affordability, playability, and durability. The advancements of rubber core golf balls changed the face of golf even more. Not a half a century after the gutty golf ball was made, rubber core golf balls were created. Coburn Haskell, in partnership with the B.F. Goodrich Company, invented this golf ball. This new and unique golf ball construction and design featured a solid rubber core. Today, there are many types of golf balls. Using the technology today, you will see the various construction of the ball with either 2-core, 3-core, 4-core, or 5-core balls. Depending on which core you use, it can affect distance, spin, height, and ball speed. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about what makes a golf ball fly. There are two forces that are really important. There is the drag force and the lift force. Drag is the aerodynamic force that opposes an object's motion through the air. When drag is created, it can push against the object in the air. Objects cannot lift off unless there is drag and lift. These two forces work together in order to make things like a golf ball have height and distance. In the picture on the left, you can see that the air or wind acts as the drag force. Lift. Lift is the force that is perpendicular to the flow or force of the object. This is the reason why airplanes are able to take off and stay there, and how golf balls are able to generate height and lift. In the picture on the right, you can see that the oncoming air acts as the drag force, while the arrow underneath acts as the lift. Dimples. What are dimples there for? This was a question that I had in the beginning, and I was really drawn to the fact that not many people actually know what dimples are for. Dimples on a golf ball, they actually create a thin layer of air that clings onto the ball surface and significantly cuts down the drag. This forces the air to flow over a larger portion of the ball, which results in a much smoother ball flight. Let's say you had a smooth golf ball. As you can see on the picture on the right, A smooth ball has a larger vortex and swirly air and creates heavy drag. This makes it very hard for it to have a smooth flight through the air and be very consistent. When you're playing outside in golf, wind is a factor. Because of this, dimples really help. They create a smooth ball flight instead of a shaky ball flight, and that is really, really important. Temperature. Colder temperatures can lose a few miles per hour on ball speed. This is probably because colder air is denser and harder for the ball to fly through the air. That is also probably why you lose some distance. As you can see on this graph, the lower the temperature, the lower the ball goes. Warmer air is light and fluffy, therefore making it easier for a ball to go through the air. You probably don't know what you're looking at here, but this is a TrackMan photo of the 12 balls that I tested. I tested the Nike Practice Ball, the Titleist Pro V1X, the TaylorMade TV5X, the Strixon Z-Star, the Callaway Hex Tour, the Snell MTB, the Kirkland Signature, the Volvic, the Titleist Pro, the Callaway Chrome Soft, the Lynx Crystal Cat, and the Callaway Super Soft. I will be rating these balls afterwards so you know what balls to get and what balls not to get. So I tested 3 different very important categories: distance, spin, and height. Starting off on the right, left, you can see that the TaylorMade TP5X is the number 1, and it's green, while Snell MTB and Volvic Vivid are both red. This is because the TP5X is a 5-core golf ball, meaning that it is a higher compression golf ball, so it should not go that far. However, this ball went farther than 2-core golf balls, which are meant for distance. The Snell and the Volvic Vivid are there because of the lower compression ball, making it, even though that they performed well, it does not mean that it is a good ball. Then there is the Strixon Z-Star and the Callaway Hex Tour Soft. These 2 balls are also balls that I wanted to highlight because they're 2 very consistent and good balls that I would consider buying. If you start to go down the list, you can see that Titleist Pro V1 and Titleist Pro V1Xs are towards the bottom of the list. This is because Titleist Pro V1s focus more on control and touch instead of distance. If we go into spin, we can see that the Nike Practice Ball and the Snell MTB are the 2 top balls. This is because the ball slipped up the club face, therefore making a lot more spin. So in reality, these balls would have had a lower spin. The TaylorMade TP5X, the Strixon Z-Star Pure White, and the Callaway Hex Tour Soft, again, all performed very well. They came in 1, 2, and 4. This is very important because you want to have a good ball that is good amongst all the categories. And the TaylorMade TP5 and the Strixon Z Pure White and the Callaway Hex Tour Soft are doing that for you. This is the first time that the Titleist Pro V1X is up on the podium. This is confusing to me because the reason why the Pro V1s are so good is because they have a great sense of control and touch. However, looking at my data, I can see that they did not perform well, therefore making it a okay ball. Now, height. I already talked about the height and how the ball, how when hitting the ball would slide up the club face and windows get hit. So the Nike Practice Ball is out of the picture. If we look at the TaylorMade Strixon Z-Star and the Callaway Hex Tour Soft, we can see that they're top 3 again. Now, these 3 balls are very, 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 very consistent. And I will be touching a little bit more about that in a little bit. The Pro V1 has not gotten top 3 in any of these categories. The Pro V1X was on the podium, and that was 3rd. These balls are a big bust. It's shocking to see how bad these balls are compared to what they actually are supposed to do. Now, if you see all the red on the screen, these are the balls that I would want to stay away from. The Kirkland Signature Performance, however, it is a ball that you get at Costco, and this ball does not work well. So when you see it in Costco and you're like, oh my goodness, this is so cheap, do not buy it. It could be one of the reasons why you aren't playing well. Now, these are my recommendations. Balls to buy. I would buy the TaylorMade TP5X, the Strixon Z-Star Pure White, or the Callaway Hex Tour Soft. The Callaway Hex Tour Soft is the cheapest out of the 3, and yet it performs at a high level. If you are willing to spend the money, I would go for the TaylorMade TP5X because of how consistent and how it has been at the top in each category. A few balls to avoid: the Kirkland Signature Performance, the Lynx Crystal Cat, the Volvic Vivid, and the Callaway Super Soft. The Super Soft is supposed to give comfort when you're hitting the ball. It's supposed to be soft. But the reason why this ball did not perform well was because it's a 2-court ball, meaning that it focuses on distance. But the problem was, when we did the distance testing, the Super Soft was not up there. It was towards the bottom. Therefore, the one job that this ball had to do, it did not do it. Therefore, you should not buy this ball. So, my conclusion. My question was, how does different golf balls affect your golf game? And different types of golf balls really do affect your golf game. Not only because they're different name brands, but different types of golf balls. This is really important in order to improve your golf game. Instead of playing with a practice ball, you could be playing with a TP5X, and your golf game can become a lot better. An honorable mention is Scout Golf. I would like to thank them for letting me use their TrackMan and helping me with my science inquiry project. Scout Golf is a robust program for people, adults and children, who are wanting to learn more about golf and who want to improve their golf game. Scout Golf is very helpful, and they're always there to help you as much as possible. They do as much as they can to help you improve each and every day. So thank you very much, and goodbye.